This is your astrology forecast for new moon in Aquarius, and this is first new moon in 2025, and it's happening on the 29th of January, so at the very end of the month, of the first month of the new year, and it's happening in Aquarius. And this is also again a very powerful initiation that is aligned with Pluto's shift in the sign of Aquarius and with the entrance, the initiation into the age of Aquarius. And we will be struggling with our identities, with our individuality, with our ability to be true to ourselves. And you know, we are reminded that we will be shown if we are putting ourselves in the box, and anywhere we feel we're being boxed in, we can push back against very hard, and this can lead to rebellion. This is Aquarius archetype, rebellious, and it can be good if it's focused and controlled, but can be bad if it's impulsive and reckless, of course. And we are learning how to, handle and navigate these powerful energies, and we can also focus more on our future with this Aquarius new moon. And these are new beginnings. This is the time when the sun and the moon come together in the sacred marriage, the sacred union of the sun and the moon, the silver and gold, and father, mother, the cosmical father and mother. And this is the imitation of our sacred union within ourselves. So this new moon is very intriguing and very intense in a way that it can trigger that union within ourselves. But in order to reach that union, we have to become aware of the separation that we are experiencing. So there is a big story of separation, union, separation, and reunion. And we may experience some powerful changes of our identities. This is like we are gaining new identity, new sense of self, and new way of becoming authentic individuals. Aquarius archetype also rules our friends and groups of people, and this is 11th house of our older brothers and sisters and those who feel like them, our associates, our acquaintances, our social circles, our like-minded people, our tribe, our soul family, the people we collaborate with, people we connect with, our mutual friends, our communities, our online communities. Wherever we have group events, groups of people, power of people, this is Aquarius in the 11th house. So we may be dealing with certain things in a new way with our friends, with our relationships with others. This is a really great time for renewing our friendships, for refreshing our role in certain friendships, for seeing our role in certain community or in a certain group of people with new eyes, for having new vision, new filters, new innovative ways of connecting and exchanging things with others. And so issues with friends or groups of people may also be triggered now. We have to figure out what to do. And friends and groups we have a good connection with can deepen, and we can even feel closer. And, of course, heartbreaks, grief, disappointments are very possible. But this new moon, I have good news. This new moon is not making any hard aspects, which is truly like miraculous. And there are no heavy aspects between any other planets either. There is only this ongoing square between Jupiter and Saturn, but that's a longer aspect, and it's not really affecting this new moon. So there are no heavy aspects. There are good ones, positive ones, beneficial ones, but this can make us lazy also. So we may miss some opportunities now. So we are asked to really take a look at what's going on. Who are people we are interacting with? Who are people around us during this time? Before this, we had full moon in Cancer in conjunction with Mars retrograde in Cancer, and this one was very tough, and it's still ongoing. That process is still active, and Mars is still retrograde in Cancer, but Mars is now making some beneficial aspects, which is softening those sharp edges. And we can really make we can recreate something in a new way, and we can make some new healing with people around us, and also we can renew our way of being a human being, because Aquarius is the sign of human being, and it's transpersonal, it's the 11th house, and it's about us being of service to others truly, and being a friend to everyone, and understanding that life is a friend to us, and we should become friends with life and friends with everything, with our whole surrounding. Like, if we are able to perceive everything and everyone as a friend and not as a threat, we have the power to transform this whole field and vibration of our life. And of course, Aquarius archetype, I will be mentioning a lot of things from the book The Age of Aquarius, and I again recommend this book because it's very important, and it will be important in the next 20 years definitely, because Pluto is in Aquarius and it's starting this big journey that is making alive those Aquarians archetypes and attributes. So we need some guidance here. And the Age of Aquarius, you can find it on Moon Omens website. And also a lot of people asked in comments of 2025 video about the planner, and you can also find all the products that we have on our official website, Moon Omens. So you can go there and check it out. There is plenty of very constructive and really uplifting tools that you can find for self-healing and self-awakening. Okay, so this new moon is making a harmonious, supportive trine with retrograde Jupiter in Gemini. And this is very good because Jupiter is beneficial. It's bringing wisdom and lucky opportunities and abundance and expansion and knowledge and higher meaning and international connections and it brings truth. It inspires us to seek the truth. And Jupiter in Gemini can bring some big news. Even though it's retrograde, it can bring some big news that we've been expecting maybe, and this can unlock some new potentials within us and can bring us really big information that connects us with people in a very beautiful and enriching way. We are enriching our social life, and we are enriching our experience of being a human being. And Aquarius archetype is easily separated from others too, so we have to be careful, even though there are no heavy aspects. But nothing is ever so like, if there are only trines and sextiles, like everything is easy and smooth. No, that's not the rule. So anything can happen, and archetype of Aquarius is very complex and paradoxical, so we may be experiencing ourselves in a new way, which can be challenging and intense at the same time. So Aquarius archetype easily separated from others because it can be too differentiated, too eccentric. And I'm not talking about Aquarius sun signs or people who are Aquarius. Of course, people can find the resemblance, but I'm talking about the archetype of Aquarius within all of us. We all have Aquarius somewhere in our chart. So Aquarius part in us is that part that is eccentric, rebellious, genius, differentiated, whimsical, unpredictable, freakish, capricious, changeable. And this is a revolutionary type, and it despises authority. And we may feel this within ourselves now. We may not be very patient with authorities or with authority figures. And this archetype within ourselves has the power to lift up the crowd. So some of us may find ourselves in situations where we are the ones who are lifting up the crowd, or we are lifting up the people around us or our friends, or we are in a group of people where there is someone who can really lift up the crowd, or we may be together individually connecting with each other and making, a powerful core of powerful groups of individuals who create a community. And this Aquarius archetype also has very deep feelings, and it's known as a mate, as a friend, someone who is looking forward, future oriented, doesn't care for tradition. And this is Dionysian type, Dionysian senses, Luciferian spirit, the bringer of light, the water bearer. These are original inventions, genius of depths and heights, genius of understanding of time. Because Aquarius is ruled by two planets, and it's very complex sign, by Saturn and Uranus. Very seemingly paradoxical, because Saturn is, obey the rules. Uranus is break the rules. Saturn is, wait in the line, and Uranus is break the line, cross the line. And Saturn is too cautious, too structural, needing to, it's slow and steady, while Uranus is very radical and quick and sudden and shocking and surprising. So we have these two paradoxical energies that are incorporated into one archetype. So it can be a bit heavy in order to handle these opposites, but they're not opposites. We can use both of these in a very wise way. And of course, this new moon in Aquarius making trine with Jupiter in Gemini. Gemini is about news, messages, information. Jupiter expands everything it touches. Aquarius is also about information and data and knowledge. So it can be too much of something. It can be too much of information, too much of conversation, too much of knowledge to digest. And it's also possible to get lost in this information and knowledge. It is possible to lose the sense of truth, because there is so much information coming from different sources talking about the same subject, which can cause mental distortions and disruptions. Social media, let's be very careful about what we listen to, what we believe in, and how that affects us. And I would highly recommend that we turn off all the news. We don't need that. We need our consciousness news from our consciousness. And many people won't know who to trust and where to look for truth. Everything might sound as truth, but it could be a lie as well. So we may have trust issues during this time. But this is necessary, because this will lead us towards ourselves, because, there is nothing that we can hold on to. There is no authority that we can trust. There is no, in the past, people would turn to, news and national TV, for example, and they would trust what they say. But now, these days, people have less and less trust in these external authorities. So it's time to find our own authority. And half-truths are blooming, and people won't have an anchor. They have to turn within and connect with their heart chakra. This is what we have to do. We have to reconnect with our true roots and re-establish connection with our true being. And half-truths are the worst, and this is, what the system has been using for a very long time. I mean, since forever, using truths and then mixing them with lies. And this is how the control and manipulation goes on. And this is how we fall into those same traps again and again. And we will come to understand that to be a human being is much more than we have known and that we have been taught and imagined. We are on our way to becoming that human being, that cosmic human being who merges and encompasses micro and macro laws and wisdom. And we are uniting, the vertical and horizontal experience of our existence, and we are becoming whole, and we are embracing the void that exists within ourselves and in the universe, that may be known as a black hole. But there is the black hole that we've been taught about is not as it is. It's an entrance and exit at the same time, just as we have that void within ourselves. And we have to come back to nature, to a natural way of living, a natural way of feeding ourselves too, a natural way of socializing, a natural way of communicating, a natural way of interacting with others, of exchanging emotions and words, of supporting, healing, expressing ourselves, and appreciating the uniqueness in everyone at the same time. We have to really come back to nature, not necessarily, as I always say, to nature physically, but that's also very healing, but to come back to being natural. And natural means advanced. And natural is our advanced technology, actually. And this is Aquarius and Uranus. It's about advanced technology. And of course, there is misuse of this advanced technology, but advanced technology is not bad by itself. But the way we use it can, give it a polarity. The way we use everything gives it a polarity. Things are not good or bad on their own, but how we use them makes them good or bad. So we have responsibility now here, and how we use nature is our advanced technology. How we use our bodies, because our bodies are advanced technology, and nature means to use our true powers that have been locked and hidden from us. Natural means our abilities that have been suppressed and that have lost their power over time under the false beliefs and illusions that we are here only for a short period of time, that we have no idea where we come from, and that we, one day we die and stop existing in any shape or form. And I think we all agree this is pretty gloomy and depressive perception of existence of life. This is something that always keeps us locked and closed. This is what keeps us away from everything that is magical, mystical, and alive in this life. It keeps us away from our higher selves. I mean, higher selves. In the absence of better words for this. But of course, we have to know the self. And we don't live that way of living. We live in a way of learned behavior. And, we live out of fear. Our whole lives are based on fears. And this is why this Aquarius archetype is very important, because it has that energy of, rebelling despite the fear, going against the laws. But of course, this doesn't mean that we should be rebellious just for the sake of being rebellious. This is about inner rebelliousness, going against our learned behavior, our conditioned mind, our conditioned way of thinking and being. This is true rebelliousness, and not, externalizing all these things. But of course, let's not give our power away to external existence, because this is when we lose our power within ourselves. This is when we lose our own authority, because we give the power to external authorities. And this way of perceiving life, the way I mentioned, the way where we were taught that, we have only this existence and we are here for a short period of time, we have to work hard in order to gain any success, and we become frustrated and irritated when we don't, and we always chase and struggle with things. We have to build the family, to build home, to have material safety and security, and very few people think about, some other security and safety that we have to build within ourselves. And this is going to change, and this is already changing. Perception is being transformed in amazing ways, and it's all about, changing this perspective of how we see life. And death awareness becomes very important, and this is, as I said, an initiation into the Age of Aquarius, and it's about erasing the fear of death, and this gets us more intimate with death. Death becomes something natural instead of terrifying. Death becomes a friend and a teacher. Life and death together become the teachers. And this is very big change in the human psyche, in the collective consciousness, so to say. And nobody has to be a wise sage or enlightened being in order to open their heart. And this is very simple, and it's a human thing. And it's about showing and expressing good intentions. And everyone can do that. And that will be the highest task of this period, to accept our limitations and do the best that we can to show good intentions, to wish our brothers and sisters well, to do something that is good instead of selfish, to do things from pure intention instead of doing things with hidden intentions and from the place of pretending and faking it. This is the time of resurrection of ancient and hidden knowledge. And these things, this is not about some knowledge that is in the books, but hidden knowledge within ourselves being unlocked, and it will reveal to us who is who. And most of all, it will reveal to us who we are, whether we like it or not. We may be faced with some things about ourselves that we have to digest and swallow and process and integrate in order to become that human being that we want to become. We don't have a chance to hide anymore. Of course, we can hide in front of people, but this will also become very transparent. But we know that we cannot hide in front of our heart, in front of ourselves, in front of our conscience. We cannot hide from that ever, ever. And as I said, this resurrection of ancient wisdom is not only about external wisdom and revealing buried secrets and knowledge. It's about resurrection of our own buried secrets as well. And this is resurrection of our own truth, which is not always easy to digest, but this is a necessity, and it will happen one way or another for sure. And all of this can increase the apathy in people. Apathy can increase very strongly in the collective now, and we may also witness greater fear of socializing, fear of connecting with others, fear of sharing, fear of being in company, fear of making friends, fear of being a part of community, fear of being a part of something greater, fear of belonging to a group of people, fear of being a part of anything. This is another extreme of this need to connect with others, collaborate, and create a healthy community. We may have a big escalation of these energies where we are immersed into fear of connecting and making friends and socializing. And social anxiety is very popular term, and many people use it very easy, and many people say they are socially anxious, but this needs to be also understood in a very deep and profound way, because this is not something that we should use as a label. This is something that can be transformed in any moment. It can be shifted now, in a blink of an eye, because this is not a natural human being condition. Social anxiety it's something that is imposed onto us. Fear as well, it's not, of course there is built-in fear that we have to have, like healthy fear of certain things, but we are all going into extremes with fears and social anxiety. So this is not our natural state of being, and that's why I'm saying we have to come back to nature within ourselves, and nature also can really help us awaken that connection with the nature within us. And so let's please all just remember that being in that state, especially for too long, is not something that is natural state of being. And when we know this, we know that this doesn't really have the power over us. This is something that can actually help. We can use everything for our own self-betterment. And also anxiety can really help us. It is very helpful, but it's not there to have the power over us. And this fear of socializing can become very strong, but this is, if it happens, and of course it will happen because one extreme leads to another. So this is a necessity. This is also something that's going on, but it will pass. It's just a process. It's a phase of going through all of this together. And there will be a clear division between those who are ready to meet themselves and those who are afraid. And there will be a clear separation between those who live in fear and those who choose to break out of that fear, between those who live under old programs and patterns and those who are ready to break out of the programs. This is, Saturn, Uranus opposition, even though they are not in opposition now, but this is felt through the archetype of Aquarius. And there is also a danger that those who want to break out of fear and programs will just slip into another program. So we have to be very aware, very conscious of what we are experiencing, what we are feeling, how we are dealing with it. And during the time of this new moon in Aquarius, we have Venus exalted in Pisces. This is where Venus feels the best. This is where Venus can express herself in the most beautiful way. This is where unconditional love can be experienced. And Venus is now together with Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of the Pisces. And Neptune and Venus together in Pisces is really beautiful, very deep healing, very powerful moment for awakening that unconditional love within ourselves, for loving ourselves for all who we are, not only loving the parts of ourselves that everyone can love, but loving those parts that are hard to love and accept. So this is like full unconditional acceptance and unconditional love, and very highly and deeply spiritual energy that allows us to embody those spiritual qualities into our life. And we will have some inner guidance, some guidance from the invisible realm now. And all of us who are somehow initiated into these ways of living life where we trust life, we recognize synchronicities. We know that this is not, this life that we have been taught that it's all that there is not really all that there is. There is much more, and that we are much more than just these bodies. For these groups of people, many things will be unlocking now, and many will slip into false truth, and they may think that they have gotten out of illusions. Many will think that they are awakened, when in reality they will be trapped in another illusion. And we may recognize those kinds of individuals around us or within our groups of people and communities, or we may be the ones experiencing that, of course. Many will believe that they have the power to awaken others, and many will believe that they have achieved liberation. Many will preach lies, believing that they are telling the truth, and we have to somehow find a way to recognize these unconscious manipulations that come from people who are actually ignorant and who are struggling and using these things as a spiritual bypassing, as another way of escaping themselves, of escaping confrontation with themselves, and like really believing that some community or some group of people, if they have or certain knowledge or certain technique or meditation, will just magically make them flourish and become enlightened being. That's not how it works. And there are many dangers, but this new moon is giving us new opportunities, new possibilities that are all very beneficial and expanding and enriching and bringing us a sense of abundance and wisdom. And it's really time for some deep, profound conversations, because we have Mercury and Pluto together in Aquarius. And these are also some powerful and brilliant ideas, genius, powerful ideas that can come to us, and we are exchanging these ideas with some powerful individuals too, or with powerful groups of people. And we may see this happening in the world too. These are new solutions, new inventions, new technology that is, very, very deep. And Mercury and Pluto together, many secrets could be shared now in a healing way, really. And we may see our traumas in a new way, with new eyes. Through these conversations, we can have a very healing, therapeutic conversations now. This is great time for any kind of therapy, for starting a new therapy, for new healing sessions, for new ways of treating ourselves and our wounds and our traumas and our shadows, because Pluto is about shadows and our underworld. So we are about to see also some secrets, or maybe secret societies. These things will also be revealed a lot in the next 20 years, and this new moon can bring some new big news about these things, because this is trine with Jupiter in Gemini, so big news about secret societies. For example, this is how we can connect some dots too, or big news, big information, big revelation about our individuality, about our friendships, about our roles with others, and we may be able to communicate these deep taboo themes, to talk about things that we don't usually talk about, to open up, to share some very, very deep, dark material about ourselves, to talk about our dark sides, to be willing to reveal the dark side of who we are, but not to give in to that dark side, but to just acknowledge it, to bring it to light, and to share it with someone. That's very big. That's really a big thing, and it's really getting us closer to becoming that human being. So instead of just talking about how other people are dark and gloomy, we should look at ourselves and try to just do some cleaning there within us, and share our dark side too, but share it through conversation, through serious and committed and good intentioned way in conversation. And it is strongly advised that each of us has a common sense and a good heart and an open mind. These are this is the equipment that we need to walk through all of this. And when we decide to help ourselves and improve ourselves, when we choose to learn, to evolve and transform, then the whole universe works towards getting us there, really. And everything starts supporting our intentions. Truly, when we turn into that direction, when we focus on our self-betterment and on having good heart and open mind, this is when everything conspires to help us, the whole universe. And we are learning now that information is very powerful, and our way of interpreting information is even more powerful. The way we interpret things is what creates our world. We are the magicians of our lives, and I personally create my own matrix. You, for yourself, create your own matrix through my own interpretations of information that reach me. And new currency is information. Definitely, in the Age of Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius, this new moon in Aquarius, it will become very clear that new currency is information. And everything is information, and we are becoming aware of that we are information. I am information also. Light transfers the information, and we can access any information we want when we connect with the light. And we can't connect with light if we don't connect with dark first. This is the condition, and we are discovering the truth right now. In the same manner as said earlier, we can't reach spirit without the connection with nature, and we can't reach light without connecting with dark. We can't reach and feel life if we are ignoring death. We are coming to this truth now, and information comes to us through many sources, and it is our task to learn to discern valuable and valid information from those that are fake and twisted information. And there are going to be lots of information, so we just have to trust ourselves and to be able to discern what is right and what is not right. And there is no mistake. We shouldn't judge ourselves if we don't make the right judgment, right? And we are not even making any judgment. This whole life is actually always teaching us how to apply learned lessons, and we are enriching ourselves through having many different crazy life experiences. And of course, we are being taught now that in order to resurrect, we have to die. And this doesn't mean to die physically, but to let our illusions die, let our fake personality die, let our programmed and conditioned self die, let our illusion about who we think we are die. And this has to happen in order for our essence to be born, in order for our inner genius to be born, inner revolutionary. This is, the death of the old, the death of illusions and lies, the death of what's no longer valid. And this is the death of who we thought we are, the death of everything we thought belonged to us and meant something to us, when in truth it only created pain and suffering. This new moon is really giving us this bright new opportunity to focus on the new, to focus on something that is really for our greatest good, that is not pulling us down, but for that greater good, we have to face our dark side, of course. And we are going through a self-initiation process. We are breaking out of old spells, and we are coming out of a certain hypnotic state. We may see that we've been hypnotized, and this is, mass hypnosis. We may be observing and witnessing a lot of mass hypnosis now. And there is, as I said, no resurrection without dying. There is no rebirth and transformation without dying. There is no life without death. There is no new without the old. There is no self without the shadow. And we are embracing and integrating our shadow, and this is how we turn on the light and let the knowledge and wisdom come to us and through us. And we are just learning that we are much more than what we have been taught that we are. We are beyond the codes. We exist without the codes of the programs that we are living under. We are the ones who are writing the codes. We are the writers of those codes. We are the programmers, not the programs. And we have switched the roles. We have given the power to the program, and we forgot that we are the programmers. So we are living some kind of program running on autopilot, when we can just anytime tap into the programmer mode. But we are, just so much involved in this game that we forgot who we are. We are playing the role. We forgot that we are the ones who are creating the roles. So ancient techniques are actually not ancient. Those are timeless structures, techniques, and wisdom. But we didn't have access to these things because we were not ready. We were blinded. We were living in that programmed and in that programmed greed that prevented us from seeing outside of that system, outside of our narrow filters. And now we are stretching our minds and hearts. We are stretching in every sense, vertically and horizontally, and we are learning to breathe. We are relearning natural laws. And of course that wisdom will set us free. Anytime wisdom will set us free, unless it imprisons us, and it only depends on our level of consciousness and our level of being. And light can enlighten us, or it can blind us, right? And this is the time to prepare ourselves for that light to come. And fire, just as fire can warm us, or it can burn us, water can also give us life and save our life, but it can drown us, right? Earth gives life, but earth also takes life. Air gives us ability to breathe, but without air we suffocate. So everything has a polarity, and everything can give or take life, and it is up to each of us. It's how we use these elements, and we have to learn to use them wisely and responsibly, to use our resources to use our potential and to learn to live our lives in a true and significant way. And it's just, it's time when certain teachings and religious teachings as well are somehow falling apart, and people see through them. We start, understanding the codes, understanding the parables of confusing stories that we've been told. And this is, new this new moon in Aquarius will give us new powerful insights that may not happen all at once, but there is some, some flash of insight that will lead us further. And we are understanding that, ether, light, numbers, symbols, colors, and sounds, these are things that build our religion. Actually, this is our new religion, so to say. And we start understanding electricity and magnetism. Magnetism is our divine mother. It's Mother Magdalene, the magician, Magdalene, Magi, magnetism. And electromagnetism is the divine female and male. It's the alchemy within each of us. The story of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, they are the twin flames within us. They are not some, persons who existed and, had some crazy stories of magicians, but these are archetypes within us. And we are learning about these different states of consciousness and archetypes within us. This is the reunion of divine female and divine male. And this is how we unlock this divine wisdom within ourselves. And of course, it's also about realizing that our body is not only our temple. Our body is the most sophisticated and advanced technology in the world. And everything that we use as a technology and everything that is yet to come as a future advanced technology is based on human abilities and powers. And everything that is given to us as high technology has actually been copied from human beings. This is like we have some advanced technology that we are crazy about, and we see it as a miracle. This is like, wow, cannot believe it's happening. It's so futuristic. But these are actually all technologies that are based on our abilities as human beings. So instead of giving our power away to those external advanced technologies, of course we can use them and they are powerful, but we have to use them responsibly. But we have to be aware that we have all those capacities and abilities within ourselves, but they are blocked. And why they are blocked? Because, as I said, we are stuck in those programs. We are stuck in repeating patterns. We are stuck in blaming games. We are stuck in just seeing very few things around us. We are stuck in our emotional turmoils. We are stuck in our mental repetitive loops, and we just have to break free. And this is Uranus archetypes, Aquarius, rebellious, revolutionary, just breaking the norms and rules and becoming the inner revolutionary. And we have forgotten our powers, and this is time to just become aware that we should start detaching ourselves from being so addicted to pleasures. We are so addicted to pleasures, and this is also something that we are about to see in a new way. We are about to see our wants and needs in a new way, with new eyes, with new vision, new inventive ability that will bring us a lot of clarity too. And to see that we have become addicted to our five senses and we know nothing more besides those five senses. But human being is much more than just those five senses. And it's so easy to assume that magic exists only in movies, in fairy tales, mythologies, and stories. we have been tricked, by our own limited belief and conditioned mind that there are things called paranormal, magic, and superpowers, and that those things don't belong to human, that those things are something unknown, unreachable, mystical, otherworldly, and it comes from some other dimensions that are completely unknown to us. And this has been done in the same way when it comes to us being detached from the divine, and by being told and brainwashed that God is unreachable, far away from us, born pure instead of us who are born in sin. And we are immediately wrong somehow. We are immediately humiliated when we cannot reach that state of being, because we are small in this big universe and we are irrelevant. This is not really how it is. So this is a time to come back to our true selves and step up for ourselves and unlock those powers. This is how we have convinced ourselves that we are unworthy, that we are powerless, and this is how we have become so focused on material reality, because this is what gives us some sense of security and stability and power. Like when we gain material success, physical senses, survival mode. The truth is there are no such things as paranormal, superpowers, or magic. Those are our organic and natural abilities. Those are natural human skills. Those are the most natural skills of human beings. And we are going to discover that in those powers starting from now. This new moon can really show us some of those abilities that we have. But more important than unlocking these mystical, magical abilities, it's not really about that. It's just about understanding that this is not something that is away from us. But what's most important is really, really, really understanding and feeling and living the truth of being a true human being, and what it means to have a pure heart and open mind, to really have that. It's not about goodness, it's about being conscious and aware and not doing anything that harms yourself, or others, or any other being, including of course all living beings on this planet Earth that we are living on right now. And this Aquarius new moon asks for solidarity. It asks for commitment, for diversity, for suppression of usurpers, for individual responsibility. It's about mutual happiness. It's about, understanding that if we are going against these qualities and virtues, this is what creates suffering. And whoever is against this in this upcoming and ongoing entrance into the Age of Aquarius, these things will disappear quickly. And those kinds of individuals and types of people also are about to expire. Really, there is an expiration date to that kind of behavior and being. Those who are against these archetypes cannot move on in this evolutionary process. That's the law. That's like the law. That's it's not something that I'm telling. That's the kind of law that we live in. And this is also can be known as the age of diversity. And diversity is the key. Diversity and uniqueness bring us together. And without diversity, we have a very twisted understanding of unity and of what it means that we are all one. We are all one only through diversity. And multiple diversities came out of oneness, and those diversities make oneness. The point is not to be like anyone. The point is in accomplishing individuality, originality, and uniqueness. And this will be tough for many, especially for those who have fallen into a comfort zone of expecting external authorities to solve every problem for them. Expecting system to take care of of everything, and blaming that same system then for personal failures. This is not what this is about. There is the split between the old and the new, and we will see the split happening more and more all around us and within us. We will see this split in our families, in our friendships, in our love relationships, in our work, in our business partnerships, in our economic system, in political system, in history, in knowledge, in technology, in all areas of life. Split between real human and mechanical human. Transhumanism versus humanism. There is a chapter in this book, The Age of Aquarius, that is called like that. And I used a lot of sentences today in this video from that book. So it goes much deeper there. If you want to really understand some way of programming and how symbols and codes work, then you can find some really mind-blowing information there. And there is some kind of natural separation process happening, and polarization becomes so evident, but this split leads to unity eventually. And there is a myth of Uranus, which is Uranus, and Gaia, the earth. And there was a separation from union. They were united, and then separation happened. Now we go through reverse process. We go from separation into union, from diffusion into fusion. This is quantum physics, and quantum physicians, they have found the way to create diffusion, but they haven't discovered the secret behind the fusion. And this cannot be done through scientific effort. This cannot be found through materialistic lens. We have to start digging deeper, and we have to start looking through a metaphysical lens. And Aquarius archetype is really like a Prometheus, and it brings knowledge to humanity. Aquarius brings illumination of the higher mind, and it brings geniuses. Many genius individuals will show up, and amazing communities, but of course we will see some other extremes there. But I won't go into that theme because this is about new moon in Aquarius, so I'm focusing on those qualities that are very beneficial and uplifting, because this new moon is not making any hard aspects, as I said. And of course some people will sink into the old ship, into materialism, into those old Saturnian conditionings, into polarization and separation, into loss and dissatisfaction. And many will feel lost and without any direction. Many will be asking for help and will become aware of their own mechanical way of being, and they will understand that they need healing urgently. And this is very good. There is acknowledgement happening, that we are making the unconscious conscious. A lot of healing will be happening, and we already see that in our world. But we are just understanding that we are not allowed to be spoiled anymore in the same way as we used to be. We are not allowed to be spoiled anymore at all. And we are about to see spoiled behavior. This spoiled behavior will be coming up from our own selves or from those who are close to us. And many will struggle with taking responsibility, and many will desperately crave for the need to blame something or someone outside of themselves. But this won't be possible. And this is like the sword of wisdom that is piercing right through us from above. The wisdom sword piercing right through us from above, through our head and into our heart. And this is like the waterfall of knowledge, and this is the flood of knowledge and wisdom. And it has the power to wash us away, to cleanse us. And this is Aquarius, the water bearer, that pours out the wisdom down on us, and we are maturing in a true way. And the process won't be the same for everyone, of course. And we just have this new powerful opportunity to initiate these things, to do things differently now, to do them in this kind of way that I talked about. And it's big time for purification, and it's time to see that the new world order that is being presented is one of the attempts to rule the majority through unity, which is not the real unity. This is another trap, like a Trojan horse. We are talking about the unity and how everything is perfect, but this is not. This is again the trap. And like one government, one currency, one religion, one world. This is not the real unity. And just as communism wasn't the real unity, the real unity is when we bring to peace our inner split and divided nature, our inner parents, our inner child and inner mother and father, our inner male and female, our inner emptiness, our void, and we don't fill the void by external images. Maybe we don't even need to fill the void, as I always say. We need to accept it and work with it and gain wisdom from it. Void is in us and the void is in the universe. As above, so below. Micro and macro realities are reflections of each other, and void is not there to hurt us or to swallow us or to suck us into that emptiness, or to keep us in pain. Void is there to set us free. It's there as a portal for us to walk through it and to be purged, to face ourselves, to see our dark side too, and to reach our not light that is opposite to darkness, but the light, the flame that encompasses the light and darkness. And these are very healing and cathartic times. So we are about to break free. And there is great quote from Kierkegaard, and it says, "Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom." And there is another one of Nietzsche. It says, "Freedom is the will to be responsible to ourselves." And Aquarius is a lot about the theme of freedom. And that's very misunderstood concept of freedom, but this new moon will give us new understanding on what true personal freedom means. And with this, I would end this forecast. I wish you all a very happy new moon in Aquarius, and see you in 2 weeks. Love you all. Bye bye.